So, you need talent. You're in the market to fill open positions and you want to make sure you have the best chance possible to not only hire someone, but to hire a high-quality applicant that's a great fit for you. Good news is, lots of people in the market looking for work. The bad news is, you're not the only game in town. So you better do something to stand out from the crowd. And what better way could there be to entice prospective hires into choosing you than building your hiring process around them? That's right. It's time you became hyper-focused on making sure your talent acquisition process is candidate-centric. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the Recruiting Roundup. For Randall Reilly, I'm Joshua Miller. Every month here on our show, we take a look at another recruiting or talent acquisition topic. Now, if that's something you'd be into, go ahead, do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, so you never miss a new episode of this or any of our other shows. The U.S. labor force is expected to reach 163.8 million this year. That's an increase of 7.9 million to the overall force over the last decade, which works out to around 0.5% annual growth each year during that time. That's a lot of people looking for work. But again, if you're watching this, you already know there's also a lot of fierce competition to land those hires. And if you happen to be like the vast majority of companies looking to hire, you want to hire now. The average job seeker sends out 100 to 200 applications, and the hiring process takes an average of 44 days to fill a job once the position's been posted.
What has that got to do with it?
You need to do everything you can to cut through the noise, streamline your process, and get the most out of your efforts. One of, if not the best thing you can do is focus on being more candidate-centric. But what do I mean when I say candidate-centric? Well, unfortunately, regardless of the industry you represent, when it comes down to how recruiting is handled, it usually seems to always revolve around the company and what they want or need, instead of what the applicant or prospect is interested in. But if you have open positions, one of the best ways to make sure they stay open is to just fire off a list of questions and check boxes instead of trying to build relationships and make the recruiting interactions you have about the prospect and not you. And this holds true for virtually any industry. If you have recruiters making calls and talking to prospective candidates, if you make it all about you and you don't take the time to ensure that potential hires have a pleasant experience, feel comfortable, and are well informed about the position and your company, well, you're just setting yourself up for failure. So what can you do? The first tip I have goes back to our previous episode. You need to make the process easy, and a key way to ensure that it is to make sure all of your applications, and really anything that's a part of your hiring workflow process, that it's easily accessible, viewable, and navigable on mobile devices. A massive amount of online time and job searching is done via phone, so it's crucial all of your materials are formatted and function properly on mobile devices. For more on that, you can check out our full episode. Another biggie is pay.
How much money do you make a year before taxes?
And no, I'm not just talking about the amount itself. When looking for new jobs, people want to have a firm idea of what they can expect, and any posts you have need to have the pay, or at least a pay range, listed. As time goes on, this is becoming more and more important, and if you don't have pay listed on your ads or posts, you're likely taking yourself out of it before you even get started, because many other companies are regularly listing pay. According to Indeed, the number of posts on their site, including pay or pay range, has gone up by 137% just the past few years. Now, assuming you list that pay, you catch their attention, and they're able to easily click to call or complete an application from their mobile device. Again, a very big deal here. 67% of all job applications were completed via mobile device in 2021, so you have to make sure you're taking that into account. The next big area to shift your thinking to is the call itself. These calls cannot just come off as cold and transactional. Where are you located? How many years of experience do you have?
Yada, yada, yada. I never heard from him again.
You can't build your calls around the same old questions just firing off. You need to give your recruiters adequate training and help them become better at shifting focus to the applicant. For instance, where did you see our ad or hear about us? What was it that got you interested and made you want to fill out that application or call to speak with us? If they are currently employed somewhere, why are they looking to make a change? Understanding what the prospect found attractive and fully grasping their motivations right from the start can help your talent acquisition team build a successful strategy and know exactly what areas they need to highlight during the interaction. If you want more great information and tips on recruiting calls, check out Listening In. When the call ends, it can't just end. You need to make sure you've answered all the questions and concerns, clearly outlined any expectations you or the company may have, and most importantly, set a firm timeline and understanding of what happens next. If you got all the information you need, let them know when to expect to follow up and from who if it's not going to be the same recruiter. If the prospect called directly without filling out any paperwork, if you're able, have your team walk them through the application and fill it out over the phone. When the call is over, stay in touch and give updates until the next step in your process. For those that don't qualify or don't seem like a good fit, well, make sure to give them feedback on why. Though they may not be right for the job now, they could still potentially be a quality candidate down the road. So make sure you're completely honest about any red flags or shortcomings rather than just cutting off communication and moving on. And there you have it. That's it, the full and comprehensive guide on how to become more candidate-centric with your talent acquisition process. Now, not really. Obviously, this is just the tip of the iceberg, and there are many, many, many other areas that can be improved. But these are some great places to start. And not to sound like a broken record, but for more information on the importance of being mobile-friendly or mobile-first with your recruiting, you can check out last month's episode of the Recruiting Roundup. And for any of you wanting to dive more into the actual call side of things, I'd suggest pretty much any episode of our series, Listening In. It's a really great resource for that. If you'd like to talk to our team about how we can help you improve your talent acquisition game overall, let us know. There's a consult link down for you below. That'll just about do it for us here on this episode. We will be back next month with another all-new episode tackling a different recruiting topic. We'll see you next time. Hey everybody, thanks for joining us on the Recruiting Roundup today. Really hope that the information was useful and you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to our channel so you never miss any more new content. And if you like what you saw, why don't you check out that video right there. That one's chosen specifically for you. Or you can check out this playlist with Listening In that I mentioned in the episode. Okay, bye.